Hi, John Hill here with founder of the Good Contractors list, and I'm here with Bob Iovinelli from Blue Escape Pools and Spas. You guys have been a member of our list for quite a while, Bob.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years, I think.
Yep. And let me tell you, when it comes to this industry, reviews are really good. Reviews are hard to find. I mean, there's a lot of guys that aren't doing business as well as these guys do. But if you look these guys up, Blue Escape Pool and Spas on Google, you're going to see some tremendous reviews. I mean, there's just not hardly any that's not 5-star. Now, would you say that's because y'all just don't ever make any mistakes?
No, it's because we take care of our customers after we do the work, no matter what the problem is.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, we work very, very hard for those reviews, and we make sure that customers understand what we've done and why they need to have it done. And then whenever a problem occurs, I personally get involved, make sure that they're taken care of.
Now, you've been pretty much in this industry since your early 20s. I mean, we've had some really good conversations here, and you've gone through a couple of partners, and as you advance, you finally got your business running like you want it, right? And you and your wife are partners.
Yeah, me and my wife are partners. So yeah, no more outside partners or anything else. But yeah, no, we've been doing this for I've been doing this since when I had a pool when I was a teenager. My dad made me take care of it, and then I started working for a friend of mine back in the early '80s, and then started my own company after college in a college class. It was part of a college project, and then I've been in business ever since.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Right.
And the things that you learn now. So he's been in business this long now. You would think, okay, well, you learned how to do pools way back when. How do you keep 5 stars in today's market in the pool industry?
Well, whenever we have a system in place to where whenever somebody's unhappy, they'll be able to notify us right away. We'll immediately get a notification. Then that goes straight to me. I get in contact with the customer, find out what was done, why it was done, who did it, and all those other things. And then I do everything I can to make sure that the customer's been taken care of. If it's something we did wrong, we'll fix it. If it's something the customer's not understanding correctly, we'll take care of that. For me, it's all about the communication. It's not good enough to just tell them that you're right. You need to explain to them that you're there for them and not for yourself.
So yes, educating the consumer is super, super important. One of the things that we look for whenever we put a contractor on our list is how well do you try to explain to the customer how this works. And
They're not, when you put a 5-page contract with all the legalese in it in front of somebody, that's very intimidating. And truth is, if a customer's not happy, no matter what that contract says, they're not going to pay.
Yeah.
So basically, we have a simple system. It's all electronic. We're cloud-based. So you get a formal proposal. It tells you everything we're doing, and the line items are always very detailed and specific about everything that we're doing. And then you electronically sign it that way, okay? But regardless of whether you signed a contract or not, it's all about making sure that you're happy with the work that we've done.
yeah, it blows my mind sometimes how people get away with some of the contracts that they sign. Plaster pool, $10,000. I mean, it's just like, well, what does this entail? It's just like, so details are pretty important when you say.
Absolutely, yeah.
In your communication and stuff.
Yeah, when I talk to people in construction and everything, I get a lot of complaints about pool builders, and they'll run into a problem, and the builder will pull out a blurb in the contract saying, we're not responsible for that. Well, if you build somebody a $50,000-$60,000 pool, the expectation is that they're going to be taken care of. And it's just like in my renovations. My average renovation's over $20,000, and when you spend all that much money, you expect to have a pool that's in good working order that you're happy with. And when we do repairs, because I came up on the service side of things, I look at things not from a builder's point of view, which is making everything look pretty. I look at it from a how well is the pool able to be taken care of, and whether or not, like when I sell electronic equipment to people, I want to make sure that you have the simplest interface possible, so you're not blowing up my phone every time you can't figure it out.
Right. Well, and that brings me to the other thing that we were talking about. Training in this industry. A lot of people just, I'm just taking care of a pool. They do it the same old way that they used to do it. Things have changed, and are you a proponent of training, like personally learning the new technologies and stuff?
Yeah, I'm continually training every single month. I'm a certified builder. I'm also a certified service professional, and so I have those credentials. But in order to maintain those credentials, you're required to have 24 credit hours each year in order to renew your credentials. So I go to seminars all the time. I'm always looking for the new and best way to get things done, and I instill that in my employees as well. When I sell people a filter, there's a filter that's good enough, and there's one that you only have to clean twice a year instead of 3 or 4 times a year.
Right.
Because everybody wants to enjoy their pool. They don't want to. They don't want to have to worry about their pool. They don't have to spend a lot of time maintaining it, and so we try to do things in a manner that makes it easy for the consumer.
One of the things that if you have something that none of the other pool companies could figure out, you're the guy to go to. I mean, that's kind of the reputation that Bob has gotten in this industry, is that he kind of goes behind and fixes a lot of messes, right? I mean, is that kind of...
Yeah, for us, when we get something that's challenging, it's all about doing the research, finding what other markets do, what other people do. That's where networking with other people in your industry comes in. It's where talking to people in other states, and you learn all kinds of ideas. But I mean, one of the things, we get a lot of calls for leak detections, where 3 or 4 leak detection companies have been out there, and the problem is those techs are paid on commission, and so they want to go out there and they want to find it in 2 or 3 hours. Well, most of the time we do a leak detection, it's almost never 2 or 3 hours. It's usually 2 or 3 trips before we isolate everything that needs to be isolated, and we find things that other people haven't found.
Right. So you're just tenacious when it comes to finding where the problem is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we handle a lot of stuff. A lot of the calls I go out on, whether it be for estimates, repairs, or whatever, is they've had 3 or 4 companies out there that hadn't been able to solve their problem. Yeah. That's because they're trying to fix the symptom instead of the reason it happened in the first place.
Right. Man, this is exactly the reason why we have brought on Blue Escape Pools and Spas onto the Good Contractors list. When you're dealing with something that's going to be that expensive, renovations at $20,000, to fix something like that, it's going to be pretty expensive. It can be pretty expensive, and so this $10,000 guarantee that the Good Contractors list offers is one that could be spent very quickly in one job if it's not done right. So that's why we've brought on Blue Escape Pools and Spas. You can trust them to do the job right. We trust them enough to put a $10,000 guarantee on every single job they do. So if you need pool work done maintenance, you do maintenance?
Yeah, we do maintenance, repairs, renovations.
And do you actually build pools at all?
Occasionally. That's
okay.
Not my I prefer to do renovations. I'm really good at finding out what went wrong and how to fix it.
What about adding the waterfalls and...
We can add waterfalls, we can add spas to a pool. I've done a couple of those this year, but we do a lot of grottos and waterfalls and raised beams and you name it, we can do it. I've got one right now that the customer wants to modify the shape of the pool so that it's more conducive to what he's looking. We do depth reductions for people that have diving pools with very little shallow end, and they want to be able to play in their pool, so we do what's called a depth reduction.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool stuff. You were telling me that you even actually raised the whole entire pool up 4 inches.
Right, yeah. There's people that their pools have settled for whatever reason. we can lift your pool back up. I've had one out in Rockwall that we raised at 5 inches. You could literally see underneath the pool and look to the
Wow.
other side.
Who would have thought that could even happen?
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes pools are built on soil that is not very stable, and for whatever reason, the builder didn't put piers in. Sometimes it's because the homeowner didn't want to pay for them. Sometimes the builder didn't know any better. It's kind of hard to say, but if a pool settles, we can lift it back up and stabilize it and get you back and go.
That's awesome, man. I love it. If you need pool work done, I wholeheartedly back the Blue Escape pools and spas. I mean, they do it right, and I encourage you, go look at the reviews there and compare them to others. It's just unbelievable. They're all 5 stars. If it's even off by 4, I think even the 4 stars, it's like, well, what could we have done to make it a 5-star?
Right.
You know, because you don't hear anything negative at all, even on the 4 stars. That just some people just won't give you a perfect score. You know,
Right.
so it's like nobody's perfect, so I'm not giving a perfect score. But anyway, go visit them, Blue Escape Pools and Spas. You'll always find them on the Good Contractors list. And I appreciate you coming out and us doing this interview, and you kind of sharing what you do. It's a tough gig, isn't
business.
it?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
thank you.
Thank you.
If the job's not right, we'll get it fixed. Only at the Good Contractors list.